GitHub with Unity Team Projects Part 2. In the past, we've seen how to sign up for GitHub as a student or a professional, and then how to use that to connect with the Unity Student Platform license. Now, here we're going to take a look at the demo for using Unity along with GitHub. And subsequently, we're also going to discuss how to actually use projects in a team where you can collaborate online with your team. And finally, we're going to end with the glossary of all the standard terms associated with Unity or in general with GitHub. So let's start with making a repo or repo, which is short for a repository in GitHub. So we go to this website after we've signed up and we type the name for our repo. Okay, so my first git came. This looks interesting. Now let's write a description. It's not really my own game, so I want to make a game for with the help of my team. So let's write this is our team's first game. I can make it private, although personally I think for students it might be nice to make this public. So we can select the license here, and then finally we start with creating a repo. So my first repository is there, and you can see over here it says initial commit, and we've got two files. One is the git ignore, and git ignore is the file which tells about what are the things that needs to be ignored. So not everything needs to be uploaded. These are files that can be recreated by Visual Studio or Unity, so we don't really need to make them. Then there's the readme file, which is exactly as I wrote it. So how about we make some changes in it? So this we wrote, this is our team's first game, so let's write something more. Here are our first changes. Okay, this looks interesting. So what do we have to do next? Okay, commit directly to the master branch. So what is a master branch? We'll talk about that later. So we can simply click on commit, and let's see what happened here. So go back and we can see there's two commits here, and it says Dr. came to okay, so updated readme. Okay, so now we know somebody came in and updated the readme. Okay, that's fine. We could do it online, so we didn't even have to download this. How about we start with cloning our project? So we want to open it in our desktop. So when we do that, here's what we get. Okay, it's opening up. Okay, so here is my repo. So I want to clone it, and this is the location. So when I click on clone, take some time, and great. So we have this over here. So our repo, the files, let's look at them in the Explorer. See, the two files are there, the git ignore and the readme. Okay, how about we start with the Unity project? So if we write the same name as the project, we run into an issue and it says that the path already exists. Okay, how about we do something else? We write down the same name as the project, but we then try to create a new name. So this will be something inside the repo. So the repo can have other things, not just the Unity project. It can have images that we're editing and so on. Okay, let's see. Okay, the project opens up. So as you can see, this is a standard window. We've got a few things here, the camera, the directional light, but we really don't have anything much here. Now if we go back to the desktop, we see it says 300 plus files. Wow. Well, we've not written any of them. So where did these come from, and are they really needed? Didn't we just do a git ignore? Well, the issue is git ignore is configured to look for these files in the same directory. So let's remove the forward slashes. So the other thing we can change, but right now we'll just focus on the top ones. Save it. Okay, let's see what happens. And now go back and see from 300 we just have 23 files which are there. So 23 files have changed. These are the only necessary files which are there. Oh, okay. So let's make a commit to the master. Say initial project created in Unity. Okay, so we're very happy we just made our first game. Okay, so quit to master, and you see it's going up to our files inside Unity. No, sorry, inside GitHub, uh, inside the local branch actually. So this is on our computer. So you see here, it says push one commit to the origin. So origin is online. So we're actually making the changes to the local repository. So what do we have to do next? Let's see. So over here, the changes were made. If you look online, the two commits are there, but they are not really focusing on what we've done. So this proves the changes are there here only locally. Now let's click push origin. It's pushing to origin. So here it is. Now we see here, look at history, and we can say that the initial project was created in Unity, and so on. Okay. So you can see all the changes made by the Unity project. Next, how about we go to Unity and make some actual changes. So in our scenes, we have the sample scene. Let's add something to it. After all, okay, let's add a plane. Because what's a game without a plane? Okay. Now, okay, when I reset that, that doesn't really look nice. So let's see what's the problem. Okay, let me move the light up. Okay, the angle is not really nice. So let me change the angle for, okay, the X rotation, Y, and Z. Okay, this looks nice. How about I change the color also? Okay, yes, green plane are the best. Okay, so let's add cube. I think cube could be our player. Cubes are so nice anyway. So okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so this is done. Now what else can we do? Let's adjust it a little bit. Okay, how about we add something to our player as well, just to see if it works. So let's create a folder for materials. Don't have anything there. Let's create one. Okay, let's call this player mat. And we can drag and drop it. But before we do that, let's just change this color. Okay, here we go. Okay, as you can see, cube looks really nice now. How about we call it now the player? Okay, so we have Unity and let's save it. Now we have to see what are the changes which are over here. Will they reflect? Well, in desktop we can see these changes are reflected. Okay, so if we go here we can see need to commit. So let's say basic setup done. So I'm so happy. Let me commit to master. Okay, now that is local, so we have to push it. So let's push it to origin. Okay, so we're done. So we can say that the basic setup is done and we just created something in Unity and then we made some changes. So this is similar to the workflow that you're expected to do. So in your actual project, you're also going to do something similar. So if you go online, my Git came, so it has everything, all the things which we took care of, we developed, okay, which took forever to do, you know. Okay, so you can see all the changes right here. Okay, we've taken a demo and now let's look at some of the terms so we get more familiar with it. So the first term that we want to know is repo or repo. It's short for repository. This is the directory that stores all your files. So in our case, it contains the Unity project, the images or anything else that are really not part of the project. So any audio or any documentation that you want to keep, so you can keep folder there. Uh, so in your repo. The next is branch. Now, what's a branch? Branch is the version of the repo that diverges from the main working project. So you essentially create a branch if you want to work and do some experimental changes or some personal forks of a repo where for other users which can alter and test the changes. Now push. Now, what does the push mean? Push means you update a remote branch which is there on the server with the commits made to the current branch. So we just pushed or uploaded our changes onto the remote or online version. Now, remote. Remote is the copy of the original branch. So when you clone a branch, that new branch is a remote or clone. Remotes they can talk with the origin branch as well as other remotes for the repo. So this allows communication between these working branches easier. Master. The primary branch of all repos. All committed and accepted changes are going to go and reflected on the master branch. So you can work directly on the master branch from the master branch or create other branches. Merge. So when you're taking changes from one branch and you want to add them to the other, typically it's the master branch, but it could be some other branch. So that is called a merge. These commits are usually after a pull request. So what happens is if you're working in a team and somebody else clones the branch and then works on it, and now they ask you to do a pull. So it's called a pull request. So you look at those changes and decide that they be added to the master branch. So in that case, you merge. So this is typically done by the project maintainer. Push pull request. So if someone has changed code on a separate branch and they want it to be reviewed to be added to the master branch, then they can ask for a pull request. So this is what we discussed right now, that the pull request, in this case, the repo maintainer look at the commits and see if they are acceptable, then they can merge. So pull happens when adding the changes to the master branch. Fork means creating a copy of a repo. Origin means the primary version of a repo. Now Git also uses origin as a system alias for pushing and fetching data to and from the primary branch. For example, git push origin master. When run on remote, it will push the changes to the master branch of the primary repo database. And more details can be found online, and some of the websites and related books are given below for your reference. So let's take a quick overview of what you have to do. You have to create a repo, then clone it on your machine, and then create a Unity project in that folder, which is the cloned repo. You work on the project, and everybody else who is in the team works on those projects, and then you make changes, and then you first commit locally, and then those changes are merged back online. So this is the entire way you can work in collaboration with your team.